My name's Deshaun, and today I'm here to give you my mini spoiler-free review of Logan. Now we were supposed to do our actual review today, but stuff happened, so I'm gonna just put this up instead, give you my thoughts. And sorry about the lighting in the back. I can't really fix that right now. Like I said, usually I'm not. Usually I try to do it at night now, so that you don't have to worry about the lighting, and it's better. But I can't really do that right now because I got people staying here, so I can't really operate. At least in peace anyway. So I'm doing it now. Sorry about the glare in the back, but let's get to the actual movie now. I'm going to start off by saying that this is a movie that the longer I thought about, the better I liked it. Now, without spoiling anything you've seen in the trailer, then this movie is about an old, withered Logan and an old and withered Professor Xavier. And at this point in their lives, they're really just beaten down by life. Life has shit on both of these guys. Mutants aren't being born in this world anymore. Something's happened that I've just recently discovered that I'll say in the spoiler review we put up sometime, I don't know when, but I recently discovered that so I'm not gonna go into it. But mutants aren't being born anymore. This is a world where mutants aren't being born. This is a world where the X-Men are pretty much all dead except obviously Wolverine. And Wolverine's healing factor isn't working right. His healing factor isn't working right. This is minor spoiler here, but I feel like I need to tell you, he's dying. He's slowly dying. His healing factor isn't working right. Professor X is has Alzheimer's and all these other different things like this. They're all really fucked up. But along comes this girl. Now they don't know who the girl is. They don't know where she came from, but she happens to have his claws and his healing factor. This is Laura Kinney. You comic book fans will know her as X-23, aka the new Wolverine right now in the comics. She's a clone. She's a clone of Wolverine now, and she's a comic book favorite to see. And it was cool to see her on screen. And it was cool, and all around this movie to me, at first I was gonna give it an 8. I was gonna give it an 8. I was like, okay, this is an 8 movie. This is this is a really good movie. The best Wolverine movie by far. It's one of my favorite X-Men movies already. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought about what they did with the characters, I ended up giving this movie a 9. And I ended up hanging on a 9 because when I think about it, when I sit back and like I told Seth when I was thinking, I was like, I'm processing. I'm processing this movie. I'm going back through the movie in my head, going back through moments that I might have questioned and things, and I realized something. This is one of the best character pieces I've ever seen. And it's one of the best character pieces I've ever seen simply because it's the best character piece of a superhero I've ever seen. Because Wolverine, to me, personally, I've always said this for years, the reason I love Wolverine is because he's a great character. Not the bub, not the claws, not that he's a badass. It's because he's a good character. This man has been through so much shit. Wolverine in the comics has lived 250 something years. He has been through hell. And in this version of the universe, he's even been through worse. And he just wants to die. And you get in Xavier is the same thing. Xavier is just they did such a great job of showing just these beaten, battered people. They finally captured the torture that Wolverine is going through, and that alone rose this up. Not to mention the action scenes were awesome. I didn't really get the action scenes were awesome, bloody and gory, like you've always wanted a Wolverine movie to be. That little girl was badass. I enjoyed the hell out of her. And the emotional connection between those three, Wolverine, Xavier, and the little girl, was just so on point. I cared about all of these characters. And in the end, when the inevitable, whatever happens in the end, not gonna spoil it, happens, it did hit me. And at first I didn't, and it hit me in a different way than I thought it would. A lot of people said they cried in the end. It didn't make me cry. It hit me in a different way. It hit me in I can't really go into it without spoiling it, but it hit me in a different way, in a different way that no other superhero movie has, and maybe that's because I have this connection with Wolverine, or because the movie just did such a great job portraying it. Now, the movie had its flaws, which is why it had its flaws. I will say the villains were okay. The one guy was the one villain you seen in the trailer was pretty good, but the other villains were really didn't see much of them. I will admit, there are beats that are particularly predictable, but at the same time, they were done so well, and I cared so much about the characters that I didn't care that they were predictable, because I was just like, well, who cares? I like them. I like these characters, and it was done well. It wasn't done sloppy. It wasn't done bad. And since I like these characters, I'm willing to let that slide. That a lot of the beats in the movie were predictable because I was emotionally invested. I cared about these characters. This movie did a better job than any other X-Men movie about making me care about the characters. I will say that for a fact. I don't think it's the best X-Men movie. I still would say that X2. I'd say this is the. I'd put it at number. I'd put it at number two. I'd put it at number. It might at number two. I put it at number two or three. Two or three. The top three for me are Barna. Nope. You know what? This is number three. Because number one to me, my favorite X-Men movie is First Class. I think that was just because I think the shock value of First Class was great. Then it'd probably be Deadpool. Then it's Deadpool, First Class, and then this movie Logan. Then there's X2 and all the other movies, but it's Deadpool, First Class, then Logan to me is my three favorite X-Men movies. This definitely is the best out of all the Wolverine movies. It's definitely a hell of a movie. If you're a fan of the character, go see it. If you're a fan of the X-Men movies, go see it. It's the end of an era, and I think it was done perfectly. It was done perfectly. It went out the way it should have went out, and I couldn't have been happier. I give this movie a 9 out of 10. It wasn't a perfect 10. Like I said, it had its flaws. But the greatness of this movie outweighed the negative. The action was great. They finally captured the tortured soul that Wolverine truly is. More tortured than anyone in comics, in my opinion, because of all the shit he's been through. Xavier, you got to see a different side of Xavier that you never got to see. You get this character, this little girl was awesome and badass, and she brought more emotion, out of him than I've seen. And all around, the movie was executed perfectly. It was executed the way, like I said, the only fault in the movie is that the villains weren't particularly that great. A lot of the beats were predictable, but a lot of the beats were predictable, and that's about it to me. That is it, which is why I'm giving it a 9, because everything else, it's superior to me. It does everything else great. So that's my review of Logan. Have you seen the movie? Comment below if you have. Let me know, and I will see you in the next one.